Hello, you guys. Welcome back to another video slash episode on this podcast slash YouTube channel. Thank you so much for joining me today. And today, y'all, I say this every once in a while, but once again, I have a very ranty, from the heart type episode. Not too many notes on this one, just some stuff on my mind. Now, this past year that I have been single, over a year to be exact, like a year and a couple months, has been the longest I've been single since I have started dating. I had my first boyfriend when I was 17. That was 3 months. And then I was with someone like my whole 18 year, right when I turned 19, we broke up. And then about 6 months later, I got with my last ex and I was with them till I was 20. And then we broke up and now I'm 21 and single for the longest I've ever been since boys ever started to bother me. And I don't know about you, but when you have that much time, I feel like you have no choice but to reflect and unpack everything. And I always say, like, I feel like I've unpacked every single little thing, like, I've everything. But every time I think that, I'm wrong because there's something else to unpack. Especially the last summer when the breakup was so recent. I remember I thought about like my three exes, right? Been with three people before officially. And I remember like one of my favorite compliments about myself is like intellectual stuff. Of course, I love being told I'm pretty, I'm beautiful, all that, my physical features. I appreciate all the love, but I love and why I feel like I have this platform is like my authenticity. I love compliments about my mind, the way I think, my open mindedness, how I make people feel. And I've gotten those compliments like from friends and family, of course, but also a lot from romantic relationships because obviously you get very close with people like that. Literally, every one of my exes has always praised me for that they've never met someone like me, that I've made them better people, I've like opened them up and stuff like that, which I love. Like, I love to leave a good impact on people, even if they didn't leave a good impact on me. Because I feel like that's what life is all about. It's just being better and doing better. And sometimes people can't always get there themselves. They need that enlightenment, a different soul to help them learn more. Um, so I'm grateful for that nonetheless. But I've always thought about, like, I remember one specific ex, my second boyfriend ever, my first love. One time he was praising me for all that stuff about how I make him a better man and how he's learned so many different things. He's so much more intelligent because of me and this and that. And he was naming all these things of like how I positively impacted him. And he was like, well, what do you think like you've learned from me? And the way I was thinking and I didn't know what to say. I'm not even trying to be mean, y'all. Like, I didn't know what to say. Like, on some like life stuff, I've been hurt by all of my exes. I've had to learn better self-worth, not to take things personal. I have had my own like personal changes too. Like, I'm much better at regulating my emotions. I think I used to be more explosive in my younger relationships. Like, I have grown as a person, but how he's like, specifically, you made me more intelligent, you made me this, you made me that. I couldn't think of what anyone I've dated that's actually given me a better quality in that way that didn't come from the harm that they caused me and like some self-love stuff I had to learn. And I feel like that's really, really sad. And I'm not trying to say that in a way like well, I think I'm above the terrible men who hurt me. Not gonna lie. But I'm not trying to say that like I'm above other people or, oh, you didn't learn anything, you're just this. No, like I really just like I appreciate myself, and like I said, I appreciate the intellectual qualities I have, and I'm really proud of them because that like they haven't always been there and I've come far. But when I think about like people who actually enlightened me and made me that way, like I think of experiences with like family or great friends that I've had. Like my dad to me is like the smartest, most open-minded person I know, and he's like the closest person to me. I think that has a lot to do with why I am the way I am. My best friend, I have friends who I feel like have opened me up to be this way too. And just life in general, going through my own experiences. But like specifically learning that, like an enlightenment quality from a partner, a romantic partner, I feel like I've never had that. And that's honestly like crazy to me. Crazy. It's like I'm teaching myself how to be this beautiful soul through these constant experiences of being hurt, not having someone just teach it to me in a good way. And I know I was talking about like my official romantic relationships, but why do I feel like I see that in a cycle of my love life in general too? Like I feel like almost every talking stage, the man is really, really attracted to me from my beauty first, but then obviously, like what I said, they praise me a lot for who I am mentally and emotionally, the good parts before my emotions become too much. Girls, you know what I mean. And yeah, like I feel like I get the same comments that they appreciate me, they like the way that I think, this and that, and I love that. But I always feel like I'm never getting those qualities in return. It's like I'm always leaving a positive lesson or something, like something that they can learn even though it doesn't work out in like a positive way. But I feel like I never leave with like, I really, that person really opened me up to this part of my brain and like made me better or more intelligent or more emotionally intelligent. Like I feel like I never get that from people without pain. And I'm honestly really sick of it. I'm sick of it. Like, I know that this isn't why I do what I do. This isn't why I'm that person. I'm that person because that's just who I am. No matter how many times I get hurt, lied to, abused, heartbroken, I genuinely don't think that's going to change my good intentions because that's just who I am. I don't, it's just me. Like, I don't go after the situation being like, I'm going to be this way because I want this back or I'm seeking something in specific back. Because I really never do. It's just who I am. But it kind of does suck that I feel like I don't often get that back. And that really fuels me because I'm a really deep soul. And I feel like just wanting some enlightenment back isn't a hard ask, but it also means a lot to me because I'm that deep person that like I don't want to just talk about our favorite shows and stuff. I want to talk about why you are the way you are. And I want you to open up and I want to tell you that I'm proud of you and that you can keep going. And maybe I want to share something back, but I am still a Scorpio, so I'm a little I live for conversations like that. That's looking one of my pet peeves. Like have you guys ever talked to someone, especially a man, you're starting to talk about something deep and they're like, I don't want to talk about some deep stuff, let's just talk about I do the fuck. And it's just like kind of sad. Like I feel like it's this constant cycle with men specifically in my life, um where it's like they come, they are attracted to me physically, but then because of but then mentally and emotionally, and I teach them and open them up so much. And then it's like when they see what it feels like, not always, but it's just like when they see that I'm not just this like beautiful, positive soul, I'm also negative sometimes. Because sometimes you got me fucked up, and sometimes I'm sad, and sometimes I'm irritated, and sometimes I'm disappointed, and sometimes I'm emotional. And I feel like boys just always want their cake and to eat it too. Like, it's really draining. I've made a video like this before, but I feel like because of like the good energy I put out, a lot of times it feels like men put me on this pedestal like I don't also have a negative side and flaws. And so it seems like it sends them into shock when I show like any sign of negativity. And it's really, really discouraging because I feel like I'm just a real ass bitch. Like I know, like I can't tell you how many times I've heard men who will be like, "I never argue. I don't plan to ever argue like in our relationship," which I feel like is so stupid. Cause like I know we're in this people pleasing ass world where we're taught that conflict is better to sweep under the rug or everything happy smile, but I welcome authenticity with all that I've been through. I understand that we're going to argue sometimes. You're going to be mean sometimes. I'm going to be mean sometimes. You're going to be sad sometimes. Like, I'm just someone who's had to learn to, like, welcome it within myself, that I welcome it within others. And I just feel like a lot of people don't understand that. And when a lot of people don't welcome the authenticity from me the way that I do from them, it's really, really discouraging. And sometimes it makes you, it can get to you a little bit. The constant cycle just like has me thinking sometimes, like I hate to say that way, but sometimes it is like, is there something I'm doing wrong? Like, am I being too nice or open from the jump? Like, in which I say, I feel like that's just who I am. You know how some people, like, I'm sure some of my friends feel that way. Like, they're like, girl, you're too nice and understanding and stuff. And like, they love me and they're protective of me. And they're like, no, girl, stop doing that until he proves that they're worthy of that. But that's just who I am. And I feel like for me to pull back would just like me not being authentic, because like the truth is I do just like care from the jump, think everyone deserves my respect from the jump, because like I treat people like how I want to be treated. But I also know from this terrible world and past pain and past heartbreak that that's not how it works. A lot of people don't do that, but I don't want to like let that stop me from doing that, because that is who I am. But at the same time, it's very tiring feeling like I'm just like leaving this positive impact on people. Like most of my talking stages end on good terms and stuff. Even if I'm not happy with the outcome, it's just like I get it. Some people just aren't compatible. Um, yeah, I mean, it'll end on a good term face to face, but behind, I might be like, fuck you, bitch, for putting me on a pedestal and thinking I'm perfect when you had me fucked up. But I don't know. It's kind of, gets kind of tiring. But like I said, I don't think I'll ever be tired to the point where I start being cold or not letting myself able to have opportunities that could potentially be something positive, because I feel like that's how a lot of people live. Um, like that one guy who got cheated on in fourth grade, and now that's why he cheats on everybody else. I'm not gonna be like that. No, but besides that, there's actually some real people who have been through real pain, and think like, oh, because I've been through pain and that's what happened when I cared, then who cares if I just do everybody else like that? Which is really stupid when you think about it from the outside looking in, because everybody else doesn't have anything to do with the person that hurt you. But like I said, this society just has some very interesting logic where it's like I can understand where those people are coming from. Pain, heartbreak, abuse is not easy to deal with and face. But at the end of the day, when you are an adult, it is your responsibility to deal with it, to go get therapy, to talk it out, to open your mind to expand beyond your situation. That just because this happened in that situation doesn't mean it's going to happen everybody everywhere else. Doesn't mean everybody cheats, doesn't mean everybody lies, but for a lot of people it's really hard, especially if they invested a lot of time in these situations. That is another really, really huge lesson I had to learn, is that I think a part of me being so understanding and like seeing the good in people is like, I think because I understand, it's acceptable, which is a terrible way to go about things. I definitely learned that in my last relationship. Like, I constantly accepted abuse because, like, oh, I understand. That doesn't make it okay. I feel like it takes a very brave person to be like, have a good heart and understand. Like, I swear, 9 times out of 10, when guys hurt me, I always like know what it is before them. I'm like, oh, I know why he's acting like that. He's acting like that because this happened to him when he was a kid. He's acting like that because his last relationship was like this. He's acting like that because he was bullied. Like, I can always connect, like, oh, that's why you are the way you are. And I think because I can make those connections, well, I understand it and maybe they just have to work through it. But I can be understanding and still be like, but that don't have a thing to do with me. So bye. Like, I understand it, but I don't have to put up with it because at the end of the day, like I said, we're adults and it's up to you to deal with it, not for me to hope you deal with it and stick around. I'm over it. I'm over it. And this is a very, very real time rant because yesterday I got stood up on a first date for the second time in the past month. Has anyone else ever been stood up on a first date the day of? This is the second time it's happened to me in the past month, y'all. This is very new to me, very new. And when I talked about this situation with my friends, when I talked about this situation with my friend, like I told her, I don't want to say like never say never. Obviously, I'm upset. This guy's apologizing to me, this and that. But I'm such a acts of service ass girl. Like, I don't care. Like, I mean, I do want a sorry, but it's like, tell me sorry and then tell me your new plan and stand on it. That is what's actually going to make me feel better, not, oh, sorry, this and that. So I talk about it with my friend. Obviously, she's mad for me. Like, what the, you know? And I'm like, I agree, but I'm also like, I don't know, like, maybe he'll reschedule tomorrow or he'll have some way. Like, I feel like I'm always thinking of like, well, maybe they'll do this to make it up. Maybe they'll actually stand on what they say next time. But then I start to realize, I'm like, why am I even expecting like positivity from a dude I barely know? Like, I've seen this perfect quote before that said a lot of times we're disappointed because we imagine people doing what we would do and not that, like, that has nothing to do with that what they're actually thinking. He could not care. I'm over here thinking, oh, maybe he'll make it up to me tomorrow. Today's tomorrow and I'm sitting in my room recording for you guys. So that's very telling. But it's like, see, this is why I'm realizing what I do. Because I'm like, yes, he's apologizing to me. He's expressing that he's sorry. But where is the new plan? Where is the new plan? Where is the effort? Where is the, I'm so sorry. I couldn't make it today, but I'm off tomorrow too. So how about we reschedule tomorrow? I'm like, I'm thinking, oh, maybe they'll do that or maybe they'll do this, but he never once said that. So why am I expecting the best out of someone just because that's what I would do if I was actually sorry and wanted to make it up to someone, it really had me thinking like, girl, what am I doing? Like, what am I doing for real? I'm at this point in my life where I realize, like I said, I'm never going to stop being a caring person who, treats people how I want to be treated. But I really had to think like, why I'm so over like giving men the benefit of the doubt. I highly disagree with I remember I used to hear this so much in high school when we barely knew a thing about relationships. People were always like, when it's your person, they'll know exactly how to treat you. Like, you won't have to say anything. Like, and I feel like that's extremely untrue. Okay. Boys are slow sometimes. Okay. And but just people in general, you can't expect someone who doesn't know you to know exactly, oh, I thought that was a spider. Know exactly what you like, what you don't like. But the thing is, when it comes to, oh, they'll know what to do, you shouldn't have to say anything, is you shouldn't have to say anything twice. You shouldn't have to say anything twice. Like, if a guy does something you don't like, right? Does something you don't like, you can't, well, I mean, you could do whatever you want. Girl or boy, you could do whatever you want. But in my head, it's like, to me, it doesn't make complete sense to automatically cut them off and be like, that pissed me off, I'm done. Because maybe they didn't know that they weren't allowed to do that, or that you didn't like that. But if you tell them, like, hey, that really made me disappointed, that made me sad, I didn't like that, and I'm not dealing with that, then they should 100% tighten up, be like, oh, I'm so sorry, I didn't know that was a boundary that I couldn't cross, and I won't do that again. But if they do it again, that's what I mean by they know what to do. They know because you told them, and you shouldn't have to tell them twice. And I feel like my benefit of the doubt and my kindness is telling people more than once sometimes. So let me stop telling you guys what you should do, and sometimes I won't take that advice. But that's what I think, and I'm really tired of it. I'm really tired of it because I'm just like, where is my kindness when my compassion doesn't get returned to me? It's just like, what am I even doing this for? Like, what am I seeing the good? And I'm not saying I should go about life seeing the bad in people. That's the complete opposite. That's the hurt people who hurt people. I'm not going to go about it expecting the worst, but I'm just like, I shouldn't expect the best either, because at the end of the day, I really don't know them well enough to give them the benefit of the doubt unless they are showing me that this is who they are and this is what they're going to do off tops, off the first conversation, off the first, you know? So yeah, it's really hard because I just feel like I think so positively because I think everyone has the same common sense as me, but shocker, they don't. They don't. And I don't know, y'all. I'm just tired. I literally told my best friend this when I was talking about the situation from yesterday. I'm tired to the point where I think I'm a little numb. I'm a little numb because the first time a guy, like about a month ago, when a guy canceled the day of, I cried. I like burst out into tears when he said he wasn't coming because it's like deeper than the guys, too. It's just like I've had a really rough couple of years. I'm 21 years old, class of 2020. If you're a class of 2020, you know what I'm talking about. Like, we had isolation the end of our year. We had to come out of isolation. You know, I had a loss around that time. I experienced grief. And then this is all like the past 4 years. And then I experienced heartbreak for the first time. And then I experienced depression for the first time. And then I experienced an abusive relationship. And then I experienced anxiety. And like, I've just had so much going on these past couple years and constant disappointment in my love life that it's just like, I feel like I'm a little numb to disappointment at this. Like, I literally told my friend that I was like, yeah, girl, I didn't even cry when he canceled yesterday. Like, and I really was excited. Like, I was sad, but a tear just couldn't come out. She's like, that's not good that you're a little numb to this. And I'm like, probably not, but it's the truth. It very much is, in fact, the truth. And you know, to anybody else watching me right now that has struggled the past couple years or in general or is struggling right now, it's okay. Okay? It's okay because right now is literally our origin story. Like, this is the story we're going to tell when we're rich and popping and turn. I hope. Yeah, y'all. I don't really know what else to say here, but another guy disappointed me. But I'm looking cute today. I'm giving purple dress flower Rapunzel. I had some inspiration to record today after some more disappointment because hey, life sucks sometimes. But you know what? It gives me a story to tell. So I hope that you guys can take something from my rants. If you can relate in any way, you are seen, you are heard. It is not just us. Stuff happens. But I just try to always remember that there's always some kind of substance. Like, it's not for nothing. Even though this constant cycle that's being thrown at me where I'm like, okay, you give me someone, I connect with them, they disappoint me. I set my boundary. Like, I don't take the BS. I do what I'm supposed to. I'm like, does this have to happen 5 more times or what? Like, and I literally feel like I deal with it better and better each time. So I'm really, really confused, but it has to mean something, right? I hope so. I'm not even really sure myself, y'all, but that's what we're gonna go with. Cause hey, That's life. But I really appreciate you guys listening to me yap and talk once again. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to this channel. I have a whole podcast if you're listening to me on Spotify on Alicia's World. I also have a playlist called Yap Sessions with all of my sit down talking videos. So you guys can enjoy that if you want more content. But yeah, just thank you guys for clicking on this video, hearing me out, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Bye.